Living in Okinawa, Japan, there are a few differences that I've noticed. I thought I would write down some of the differences that I've experienced so far, or some of the ones that just come to mind. The students and some of the younger people that I've met don't ask me for my birthday, and they don't ask me for my horoscope sign. They ask me for my blood type. Here they believe that certain blood types have certain characteristics, and I ask them like, oh, what certain traits do people have? And they're like, oh, well, if you're this type, you're more clean. If you're this type, you value organization. If you're this type, you're more outgoing but less clean. And they had a whole list of things, and I asked them, well, what blood type do you think I am? And they said, oh, you're definitely the clean one. You're the clean blood type. And I asked them like, what are you? They're like, disorganized. Another big difference are the restrooms. Going to the restroom is an experience because in Japan they have the shower toilets. And I think shower, like, you're going to take a shower. No. Shower toilet means that your butt gets a shower. You're expected to use less toilet paper because after you go about your business, you press the little shower button and it releases water onto your butt. After that, it either has a dryer or you can use paper. But the idea is that you use less paper because you're cleaner. Arriving here, I was in for quite a shock when I saw the price of fruit. And this includes both the American store on base and the Japanese stores off base. An apple can cost like $2 or $3 each. One day my husband and I went to a store and we saw a $25 box of grapes that was about this size. And we just couldn't believe it. How can, no. So we went home and did some research and found out that fruit is very expensive because it goes through a really, really, really selective process. Granted, this is not true for all fruit. You can find like a little farmer's market or a little like fruit stand and get a better deal, but my husband and I both speak Spanish and we enjoy speaking Spanish because we feel like it's a little secret language, Nope. There is a Okinawan community in Bolivia. They have branched out to different parts of Latin America. They speak Spanish. So when those Okinawans are here visiting family or when they've moved back to the island, of course they don't lose the language. So Jose and I have been, walking through a park or shopping and speaking Spanish with one another, and then we'll have a Japanese person come up to us and say, "Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿De dónde son?" And I had gotten lost twice getting here, but I got here, and I needed to go to the restroom. I was all excited. So I went to the restroom, and they showed me which restroom to use, and they said, oh, that one. And I walk in, and there are students, so I got all scared, because in California, you're not supposed to go to the same restroom as the students. And so I look around, they said, no, that's the restroom. And I was like, okay. So I use the restroom, and then I go to wash my hands, and when I'm done, I look for a hand dryer, like the air dryers. There's none. And I look for paper towels, and there are none. So I'm looking for somewhere to dry my hands, and I finally asked the students in the restroom, like, where? And they said, oh, no. And I was like, no what? And they said, no. And one of them pulled out a little, towel from her pocket. I was definitely not prepared for the humidity. It is very humid here during some of the summer months. In California, we use humidifiers, which add moisture to the air, and it makes it easier for some people to breathe. And here we have the opposite. We have dehumidifiers. They fill up with water, and you have to empty it out. So I have to empty out my dehumidifier 2 or 3 times a day just to keep this room feeling nice and to keep this hair from being all crazy. So I learned that the bases close when a typhoon is very close to hitting Okinawa. So I kind of got a little scared about the prospect of having to drive home in bad weather and having to get there before a lockdown. But once Once I understood what I had to do, I didn't worry about that. But my husband and I had just moved to our new home, so we needed to fill up our pantry and just get food. Big mistake. We should not have done that like right before a typhoon. We went and it looked like Thanksgiving Day or the day before Thanksgiving at the store. There was food missing from the shelves. The lines were endless. People were filling their carts. If there's a typhoon that's approaching Okinawa, everyone who has a phone here gets an alert about the typhoon. Here, it's really hard to find a person who does not know how to play an instrument or who does not know how to sing or who does not know how to do both. It was really easy to form a band with my staff members. I think in the States we have a bigger like Twitter culture or even Yelp. Like we'll look up a restaurant on Yelp. But here, Line is a lot bigger, and restaurants will have a Line account, and you can follow them. So if a restaurant has the little Line icon, I'll add them, and then I get a message, and it's usually like a discount or buy one get one free or some kind of cool offer. Fingernails are also decorated differently here. Usually, like if I go to the salon in the States, I'll pick a color or a pattern, or maybe I'll have like one nail that's like special, but the rest are like, just the regular color. But here, all the nails could be a different design, and even both hands can be different.